Today we're diving into a really incredible story. It's about a 15-year journey that literally put an entire country on the digital map. And it all started with just one volunteer, a guy named Chamnan Muon, who went from mapping his own neighborhood to becoming a global voice for his community.
I mean, really think about that for a second. How do you actually map an entire country? Every single road, every river, every little local shop. You'd think a huge tech company could just solve that, right? But the reality is a whole lot more complicated. And for Cambodia, back in 2010, the answer was surprisingly simple. You do it one person at a time. This story doesn't start with a fleet of high-tech cars or advanced satellites. Nope. It starts with the passion of local people who knew their home better than anyone else. All right, so let's set the scene. We're starting our story in Cambodia, where there was this fundamental problem. The digital world just didn't match the real one. You got to imagine trying to get around your own city, but the map on your phone is mostly just blank. That was the reality. So many essential places, streets, landmarks, they just didn't exist online. This made things super difficult for locals and basically impossible for travelers. But then came the game changer. Google launched this tool called MapMaker, and it was revolutionary because it actually empowered people like Chamnan to, well, literally draw their world into existence on the digital map. The whole idea was to harness that invaluable local expertise. And Chamnan, he dove right in. He wasn't just adding big highways or anything. He was adding the very heart of his community, the local pagodas, the neighborhood schools and clinics, even those little narrow alleyways that only the residents would know about. He was also adding photos, giving these places a face for the very first time online. And this quote from him, it just says it all, doesn't it? For Chamnan, this wasn't just data entry. Every single pin he dropped was a little piece of Cambodia's story, and he saw himself as its storyteller. So after years of this dedicated mapping work, Chamnan's role started to change. He wasn't just a contributor anymore. He was actually becoming a leader in his community. The whole platform kind of shifted. MapMaker was eventually retired, but its spirit was reborn in this new thing called the Local Guides program. And this integrated all those community contributions directly into Google Maps for everyone to see. With this big change came a new kind of responsibility, and Chamnan totally stepped up. He went from being a top mapper to being a community leader, guiding and inspiring this whole new wave of mappers in his country. Okay, this is where the story gets really, really cool. Chamnan's local passion was about to get noticed on a massive, global scale. So imagine this. Google decides to invite its most passionate mappers from all over the world to its headquarters in California. As you can guess, the competition was fierce. We're talking thousands of people applying for just a handful of spots. And how many spots were there? Out of all those thousands of applicants from every corner of the globe, only 75 were chosen. Just 75 people for this historic, first-ever global summit. And yep, he was one of them. This was huge. It wasn't just a personal win for him, it was a massive moment for his entire community. For the very first time, Cambodia had a seat at the global map-making table. Now look, getting invited once is absolutely incredible. But what happened next just goes to show how truly valuable his contributions were. He was selected again, and then again, and again, 4 years in a row. The event itself was changing too. It grew from 75 attendees to 200, it got rebranded to Connect Live. But through all that, Chamnan was this constant, recognized voice. And you could see his impact creating this amazing ripple effect. The very next year, in 2017, he wasn't there alone. The Cambodian delegation had grown to 3 members. It was such a powerful testament to the community he had helped build from the ground up. So after that 2019 event, the global summits went on a break. It really seemed like that chapter might be over. But then, out of the blue, an unexpected email landed in his inbox. 15 years after he first started adding places to the map, he was invited once more. This time, it was for a new regional event in Tokyo. It was this incredible opportunity to reconnect with the mission and the community he'd given so much to. And the invitation itself had this incredibly powerful message. Google straight up told him, "Your participation has helped us shape the map over the last decade." I mean, can you imagine getting that kind of validation for your passion project? So when you look back at 4 global summits and 15 years of hard work, what's the real takeaway from a journey like this? What does it all mean? Well, Chamnan's story really boils down to a few core truths. It proves that one little edit from a local expert can have a massive global reach. It shows that building a community just multiplies your impact like crazy. And maybe most importantly, it's a reminder that maps aren't just lines on a screen. They are living, breathing collections of our shared stories. And what he gained personally was just immense. He got to bring Cambodia's story to the world. He got direct insider knowledge from the teams at Google. He became this trusted advocate for his community's needs. And of course, he built this amazing global network of friends. This whole amazing 15-year journey started with just one person adding one single place to a map. It really makes you wonder, what unique knowledge do you have about your corner of the world? Because a small contribution from you could absolutely be the start of the next incredible journey. The only question is, where will you begin?